We've built the company. We are focused today not on the business issues, but more on the culture issues and maybe on HR issues. So if we would be to restart the inStreamly company, like coming back to 2019 and doing it once again, but with the current experiences, what would be the one thing or maybe top three things that you would change?
But we are talking about company as a whole, or the culture, or my. Okay, I'll tell you three things. So, first of all, my personal thing is I would spend more time about thinking what's important and what should I do and what I shouldn't focus on, because I spent especially the first 1.5 year overworking myself and not always with the best results, and I was a bit lost. So probably would have spent more time on prioritization, on thinking what's important for me, how should I approach it, because there is always something to do. The second thing that I'd do differently is to make faster decisions, especially around marketing and how we work here. I think we spend too much time waiting for results and not enough time thinking about the only thing that's constant is change. I think in the marketing team we made the most changes, improvements in terms of team, how we work, what do we focus on, how we do it, etc. In the last 8 months, so in 2022, than we have made for the past 2 years before. And it's for the better, I think. So I would be more brave to do those changes rapidly. And from the point of view of the whole company, I think we could have taken bigger risks. I think we could have decided to go in big in some cases. Of course, it might have made us not be the same company we are right now, because it could have backfired. But I think there were times where we could uh, put everything, like put double the resources on one thing, and see what happens, instead of like doing it the halfway. I don't
Okay.
know if it were better. I think it was the risk worth taking. I think this is something we are also thinking about moving further. But I would just do it differently, just to see what happens if we have done it.
Okay. And are you brave enough now?
To some extent, yes, because we decided to make some changes, especially like in the marketing space, in our budget, in what we want to focus on. I think I am. I'm also more conscious of myself, and also more calm. Maybe I even feel more confidence in myself than I had those 3 years ago. So it helps me approach those hard decisions, hard challenges, with some calm that I didn't have before. So I think a lot have changed since we started.
Okay. I'm
And what?
having, yeah, it's very difficult for me to answer this question because I don't like to judge the past considering the knowledge I have right now.
Mhm.
If we would start now and I would have the understanding of the organization that I want to build, that I have now, I would be simply way more quicker because what we have built comes out of failures, of bad decisions, of decisions not taken in the right moment. And obviously, in this way, I agree with what you say. It's very nice to say, I should have been more brave. But you say it from the time perspective because you know what the good answers would be. And the brave is a very difficult concept because there is a difference between being brave, like putting your chips on something, and this is what the Netflix says in the book, No Rules Rules. Put your chips, be brave, check. And on the other hand, not managing the risks. Because right now, you can't really know what would happen, what would be the risk. You can analyze it if your bet would be wrong. So I like the concept of being brave. I think we are a brave company. This is why we are here. I'm not that sure how to manage the thing of being brave and taking into consideration all the risks. But this is also why we are so much biased towards intention and like intuition. So sometimes we are having the conversation in a team of 4 founders. So you, Shimon, Damian, me, sometimes Gosha joining. And if someone says like, hey, I really think it should be done like this, we should try, we should do it. We are not trying to overthink this, not looking once again on the risk, but just moving forward and accepting the uncertainty. By the way, this is a clip we've recently shared on our YouTube. And this is why it's one of the most important values for the company, to accept the uncertainty, to move forward, to understand that you can't control everything, because only then you can be brave, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think maybe it's hard to say take bigger risks, but for sure it's like 100% something to agree on, that we should be quicker. We're quicker, but maybe we're quick enough. Maybe we're just like holding ourselves to so high standards that we just think that we could always do it better, do it quicker, do it and we did our best in some ways.
Yeah, so this is important. So some time ago you mentioned that you would be calmer, and this is very nice. I think this is essential, to be calm while doing this kind of a business. And you can only be calm if you really feel like, hey, I'm doing enough. I'm doing enough. Maybe I'm not doing all I could, but this is enough. This is how much I want to give. And being brave in the context of this is enough is very important. So I don't know the answers yet. I can see the change. I think that we were very brave making a decision of the 4-day work week, like you mentioned, like 2 meetings and then, okay, let's test it. And the important thing, and maybe one of the things I really want to highlight, is that nothing bad happened. Even if we discuss right now whether to work 5 days a week, for example, in the 4th quarter, it's not because the company is ruined or we started to underperform. We really make a quick decision, and this is also important, like to make decision, because 95%, 98% of decisions you can revert, but you can't do really anything about the decisions that haven't been made. But in general, I really love the concept you mentioned, like this is enough. This is enough. And I would also say that through the entire 3 years of this inStreamly journey, one thing I would love to understand better, and to understand better right now, is what does really enough mean? What does it mean for me? What does it mean for company? Like I'm a huge fan of the word enough.
Okay, and what are your thoughts? What do you think is enough for you?
Well, it depends. It's one of the most difficult questions, and this is why I'm so fascinated about this. What I have right now is enough. I appreciated this. It was very hard and very difficult to be here. I'm working with a great people in a great company, and I wouldn't say I will be more happy if we will get 200,000 streamers instead of 60,000. If the company would earn 20 million euro instead of 3 or 4, if we would get from investors like 50 million euros, not 5 million euros in this round. So I don't think that any kind of a change in our metrics, and in the way we operate, would have a significant impact on the way if I am happy and I am not. I really enjoy the time. And in this sense, although I'm hungry for more, what I got on the table is enough. This is my understanding of enough. How do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's enough. I think we are on one hand, because I remember a conversation in when we were founding inStreamly. You asked me like, what is my motivation? What am I chasing? And we both agreed that it's excitement. So sometimes people misunderstand that enough is the opposite of excitement, because excitement is something more. And I think being happy on one hand with what you got now, like being calm about it, being grateful for it, and on the other hand, being hungry for more. These are not opposite concepts. So you don't have to feel that you are lacking something to be hungry for more. So I think this is a good mindset. This is enough. I don't know if all the VCs in the world would be happy about hearing that, but maybe it's about finding the right ones for our approach.
Yeah, obviously. And by the way, this is interesting. I know that we need to end soon, but we have had a question from Hisham about the VCs, and I see another thing here. So you mentioned that for some VCs, venture capitalists, investors, this wouldn't necessarily be a nice thing when a founder says, I have enough, because, hey, founder, you need to be so hungry. You need to eat them all. And this is bullshit, obviously. This comes from the TV series about how you build a startup. I also think that right now, with all the focus towards profitable companies, people are saying, hey, these times are crazy. We need more profitable startup. We need less of the huge money being invested in the growth. This is a fundamental change in a way that VCs are thinking. So for me, a founder that says like you, hey, I have excitement about what I have on the table, and for me, this is enough to be an excited founder, is a reason why I would give you the money. So call me anytime when I become an investor and you have a startup.